This is my third Arena 2v2 video for Cataclysm. My partner Kashmir and I managed to get our team up to a 2K rating. You can see our stats here. I've lowered my resilience a bit and shifted stats toward crit, and Kashmir has more resilience compared to his last video. This is one of our toughest comp matchups. It's a Shadow Priest Mage, and it's hard for us because they've got ranged DPS, they've got tremendous control, survivability, and burst damage. So I'm blowing cooldowns immediately. I trinket out of this first CC, bubble out of the second one. I should have popped Hand of Sacrifice as soon as the bubble was down, and right now we are tunneling the Shadow Priest to shut down his DPS. Now, this was a comp that gave us a lot of problems. We're actually finding, as we get closer to 2K rating and a little bit better geared, we're finding tactics that give us a better shot at winning, but it's still extremely difficult to win. So in this case here, they were on Kashmir for a while, then they shifted to me, and once the Shadow Priest goes down, I kite away and pop Divine Plea for the 3 instant Holy Power, and then Wog Heal myself up. So I'll show you a clip later where we started off and we played it really well on another map. This is actually a very bad map for us against ranged kiting classes because there's such open spaces and it's really easy for them to free cast. So here's another heavy CC comp. It's Rogue Shadow Priest. So we decided to go ahead and get on the Shadow Priest. I'm taking just a wide circuit here. Then I hit Holy Wrath there in the hopes of popping out the Rogue. It doesn't land. Sometimes it does, and it takes him out of stealth. And they decided to open up on Kashmir. We're trying to tunnel the Shadow Priest hard and get him either to go into Dispersion form, where he's not DPSing, or go into Caster form where he'll burn his mana to keep himself alive. So we get up to 3 stacks of Holy Power. You can see Kashmir's taking some damage, so I heal him and get a nice 27k crit Wog Heal. And I'm just continuing to apply pressure to the Shadow Priest and ride him, and we're going to burn him down. There's really not much he can do here because they got so far behind as far as their health is concerned. And once we drop the Shadow Priest, the game's over. So this is a matchup against that against the Frostmage Shadow Priest comp, and this is definitely one of our hardest matchups. So we have to be really careful. So we start off fighting here. I pop a lot of my early cooldowns. I use the Trinket to get out of that crowd control. I already use Holy Radiance for the AoE heals. And then Kashmir's getting hit hard. So the main thing is we just got to keep him alive. So we kite behind the box. And this is the main thing we've learned against dual range comps. We actually have to kite and get them to come to us and then be opportunistic about damage. So as Kashmir starts taking more damage, we go ahead and kite back behind the boxes again and then reset our health. So the good thing is, here we are letting them burn through some of their cooldowns, but we're keeping our health high. Now, here's where the real danger is. In a moment here, we decide to go ahead and pressure the mage. And once we're out from the boxes, they can pretty much free cast, and both casters have really wide angles that they can hit us from. So Kashmir, who's at over 3,300 resilience, just gets bombed here, and his health drops so fast he's not able to kite back to safety. So this is a very tough mechanics matchup for us, and we end up losing this match. But as I said, we are getting better about learning how to use terrain to reverse kite, to make them come to us, and then be opportunistic about damage. So this is a Mage Frost Warrior comp. We always go after the Warrior, and I immediately stun him, and I was at like 15 yard range there, and that's why the Hammer of Justice glyph is so helpful, to make sure that you can catch people and stun when you need it. So in these types of fights, we burn our cooldowns really fast. I've already used Holy Radiance. I pop Hand of Sacrifice there in case I get sheeps. As it turns out, they're focus firing me. And here I go ahead and pop Guardian of Ancient Kings because I want to focus my Word of Glories, my Holy Power on doing damage. And then I drop the Warrior. I get a nice 18k crit on him, and then use Divine Plea to kite away and then get my health back up. So against dual DPS comps, definitely use your cooldowns really aggressively, and you can treat your bubble as a second trinket, more or less, and then you can use Hand of Sacrifice. If your partner's getting focus fire to help you break you out of things like blind or sheep, etc. So in this fight, the Rogue and the Shadow Priest decide to focus fire me. So I've already burned a couple of my cooldowns. I accidentally stacked both Divine Protection and Guardian of Ancient Kings. You don't want to do that. Really, you want to chain your mitigation abilities by using them early, not stacking them on top of each other, because in some cases it doesn't work. I'm not sure about Guardian of Ancient Kings, but I know for sure that Ardent Defender and Divine Protection do not stack. So One important thing whenever there's a ranged DPS against us in the dual DPS comp is to go ahead and kite, and as long as I'm out of sight, I can only be damaged by the caster's dot damage, but not direct cast. So we've learned a lot about reverse kiting. It's kind of a very weird thing, but it works really well. So here again, I'm kiting away from that pillar as I know it's gone. I hit my Divine Shield bubble, and it gets dispelled, but it's okay, because as I was kiting, I used Divine Plea to get 3 stacks of Holy Power for the Wog Heal. Now, I did get kicked there when trying to cast Flash of Light, so I got a 4-second spell lockout. All Paladins are actually going to get that ability in patch 4.06, Rebuke ability, which is the same thing as the Rogue Kick, so that'll definitely help a lot against casters, which is the hardest matchup for a Prot Pally. So I'm burning through my cooldowns, and right here I'm going to use my Avenging Wrath. In a moment I will, to help heal myself up. So I'm using 3-stack Wogs. I'm trying to keep the Rogue in front of me as much as possible, so that I can benefit from my block and avoidance mechanics. So I popped Avenging Wrath there, and we managed to burn the Rogue down, and then the Shadow Priest and I double CC each other. So I stun him, he fears me, but since I'm being feared away from him, as soon as I come out of the fear, I just continue to kite. And I'm out of range of his direct cast, he can't do anything to me. Kashmir is beating him up, and I just kite all the way around here, a line of sight, and then I'm actually kind of at low mana, so I'm just waiting for his health to come down a little bit, and the Shadow Priest gives up. So we have found this reverse kiting to be really invaluable, and it works even against plate healer comps. So for example, right here, I've been getting bombed for a while, and I've had to blow all of my mitigation abilities, and what I'm doing is I'm kiting. Here I kite so that I can cast Flash of Light, and then whenever I get on the DK and he's attacking me, I kite him around the pillar to get him out of line of sight of the Holy Paladin. And this has a couple benefits. First of all, obviously, if he's out of line of sight of the Holy Paladin can't heal him. The healer can't heal him, and if the healer wants to heal him, he's got to use instant cast or short cast spells, which tend to be the most mana inefficient. So I'm just continuing to kite. And then the other benefit is, a class like Holy Paladin can actually put out pretty good bursts. They can throw down instant cast, Holy Shock, they have Hammer of Wrath, which hits really hard, and they can also put out Exorcism spam. So I'm careful to keep my health, try to keep it above the 20% barrier, and I'm building up my Holy Power here, and I'm deciding to actually use it on Kashmir, so if they shift back to him, because they've been switching focus between the two of us, I want to make sure that he's got enough health that we're not going to be put in a bad spot because of Necrotic Strike. And I'll show another clip at the end of this video of just how potent Necrotic Strike is, and it's actually getting nerfed in patch 4.06. Okay, so I'm kind of again trying to get my health up above that 20% so I can't get Hammer of Wrath from the Paladin. Continuing to kite here. And this reverse kiting technique, it's worked really well. We found success with it against DKs and Warriors. And healer comps. And in this case, I go ahead and pop my Guardian of Ancient Kings so that I can focus my Holy Power on Shield of the Righteous to help burn down that DK. So we had a really good run. Earlier this week we went 9-9 in twos, and then last night we went 16-7. It was our best run, around the 2K rating. And the hilarious thing here is Kashmir had a 1 higher point arena rating because he DC'd during one of our earlier matches. So he ended up getting the 2K achievement there, and then my score was actually stuck at 1999. So we queue up right after this. It's pretty funny. Queue up right after this and just hope we're going to be able to win our next match so I can crack 2K. And as it turns out, we get a Warlock Restoration Shaman. You can see I'm strafe kiting at an angle there to make sure that I can catch up to him in melee. And I've shown footage of this comp in my previous video, so I don't need to show the whole footage here. But the great thing is, we burned down the Warlock, and the Warlock was actually doing a pretty good job of knocking down the totems as he was kiting around. But we eventually catch him and burn him down. And then with that victory, I get my 2K 2v2 achievement. The other funny thing, and I wasn't even aware of this, Kashmir was paying attention, but he didn't say anything. We at this point were at 9 of 10 for Hotter Streak, and that's like winning. Hotter Streak is the achievement you get when you win 10 matches in a row at the 1800 or above rating. So this is against a DK Resto Druid comp, and they're an extremely hard comp for us. And right there I get a nice 27k crit Word of Glory on Kashmir, but watch what happens because of the Necrotic Strike debuff, which absorbs heals. So I'm building up the 3 Holy Power. I heal Kashmir. The entire thing, I think it's 18k, just got absorbed. And we're also trying to burn down his pet, because his pet does so much damage. And I'm working my way back up to 3k of, 2 stacks of Holy Power, pop Avenging Wrath, and get a nice 17k crit heal. And I'm continuing the same thing here, building up my Holy Power. And this is basically losing battle. We're not able to really effectively DPS them because Kashmir has to kite. I get a nice 17k crit from Wog, and then my next Wog heals for about 5k, but 6k of it is absorbed.
I'm gonna kill that pet real quick. Yeah.
We drop the pet, and then I think there were a few more at large absorbed. So okay, here's another one. So I'm Cyclone. This is something the Resto Druid can do really, really well to keep me busy. So I come out of this and hit about 17 or 18k on a 2-stack Wog, and the entire thing gets absorbed. And then on that Flash of Light, it only healed for 3k, and 7k was absorbed. So this is really a hard matchup for us, basically. I mean, for any team. If you look at the top 10 2v2 teams on the Shadowburn ladder, of those 10 teams, 7 of them have a DK in them. And you can see, like watching this footage, it's clear why. The mechanics for DK are really strong. They can peel, they can keep positional control with Death Grip, they can root, and then they can prevent you from healing effectively. So, unfortunately, we lose to this DK Resto Druid comp, and we don't get our Hotter Streak, which would have been a sweet achievement, considering we're dual DPS. But we did get to 2k rating, and we were really, really psyched about that. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them on our blog. On my blog, especially for Enhancement Shamans, because I can't really speak credibly to your class, but of course, Kashmir can. Take care.